happened in court, I think a lot of us were not surprised about at all. So he was found not guilty of the racketeering charge. He was found not guilty of the trafficking. What he was found guilty of was the prostitution stuff, which after yesterday, right, and mind y'all, you talking about that racketeering charge, right? He would have been in jail for the rest of his life if he had been convicted of that. Now, yesterday when they were trying to figure out how they were going to instruct the jury, and Diddy's team was arguing heavily, right? They're like, look, we just need to give this jury more time. We don't want them to be pressured. We don't want to be involved too much. Like, we just want to give them more time. The reason why Diddy's team was so against the Allen charge, and the Allen charge is basically something where a judge is able to say to the jury, like, look, if we have to retry this again, there's going to be no jury that is smarter than you. Basically, like, we're going to have to do this all again, and they're going to get the same evidence. So we need y'all to figure this out. Diddy's team was so adamant yesterday that they did not, y'all, it's getting crazy outside of court because everybody's coming out. Diddy's team was adamant yesterday that they did not want that to happen because I think yesterday they knew we have a really good shot. If they've come to this decision as quickly as they have based on everything they've seen, and the one issue that they're having is the RICO charge that Diddy's team has been arguing all along was the main thing the government did not prove well. I think they had that feeling, but still, he was nervous as hell yesterday. Today, when they decided and they announced what he was acquitted on, when I tell y'all he was so thankful, he's looking at the jury in their face. He's thanking them. Like, you can't hear him, but he's audibly thanking them. He's prayer hands. He's everything. Now, they're arguing about whether Diddy is going to walk out of the courtroom today. They're waiting right now, and the judge said by 1 o'clock he wants both sides to submit letters. Now, here's what his attorneys are asking, right? So his attorney, Mark Agnifilio, stands up and he's like, listen, he's only charged with the prostitution, right? And because he's only been charged with the prostitution, I'm not saying that this isn't serious, right? Like transportation to engage in prostitution. I'm not saying that this is not serious on a federal level and that federal charges aren't serious. But what I'm saying is that this is far less than what he was actually accused of altogether, right? He should be able to go home. If you look back in the jury, if you look back in the audience right now, his family is here. There's so much of his family members here. Any one of them, any two of them, any five of them right now could put up a bond for his release, for him to be able to go home right now. Mark Agnifilio said, look, we already took possession of his passport. We have physical possession of his passport right now. We found out last night, just in preparation for if this happened, right? We found out last night that his jet, his plane that he owns, right, is in Maui. It's been chartered. He does not have access to his plane. They asked, can he go and stay in his at his house in Miami, in Star Island, and just be under different conditions? Basically, like, we will watch him. The court can watch him. The court can tell us what to do. But he should be able to go home right now. And not only did they put the pressure on, he should be able to go home right now, his attorneys also said, and we need to decide it today while his family and everyone who has taken their time to be here are in court. Today, right now. They asked for the bond to be $1 million. And again, they, y'all, it's getting crazy out here. So many people outside. I'm going to show you guys outside. They asked for it to be done today because they kept reiterating, anybody here right now in his family can put up that bond. This needs to be done today. So the judge said, listen, let me see what the government has to say. And based on what the government has to say, we can kind of go from there. Like, let me see how they're feeling. So the government, they stand up and they're pissed. They're like, no, he should not go home because, number one, we've heard about instances where he's committed crimes and been violent to people involved in this case, even after he was under very public scrutiny, right? So he's like, for instance, with Jane testified that they got into this physical altercation, right? That happened once everything had been announced, once his house had been raided, houses had been raided. They literally said he has no regard for the government. He does what he wants to do. We've heard about all of the drugs. They even talked about the day of his actual arrest in New York. The government said, listen, did y'all forget that the day he was arrested in New York, he had tons of drugs in his hotel room. He had all of the supplies set up in his hotel room to do this exact act. The exact act that he was actually found guilty of, he was waiting to do it the day he was arrested. No, he should not go home. It makes no sense. The court should uphold this. He is a danger to people. He is a danger basically to himself. He is not going to be able to abide by whatever rules, whatever regulations we set. It makes no sense. So his attorneys then stand back up and, well, no, first the judge is like, well, okay, look, I want you guys to put all this stuff in a letter. We'll take a look at the letters by 1 o'clock, and then we'll come back and we'll have a conversation about it, because the judge did say, I do think that this is only fair and it's something that I will do. We'll decide on this today while everyone is here. But I want to give you guys some time because, you know, to be fair, the government wasn't fully prepared to argue back against it. They did the best that they could, and they made their points. They did. They talked a lot about what we've been talking about from the beginning. Diddy's disregard for just the laws in general. Like, you know, there was allegations that he was contacting witnesses at one point. Again, he was arrested. There were freak-off supplies in his hotel room, which we saw in evidence, and the government kept pointing back to that. All of the things that happened even after he was under this major public scrutiny because the federal indictment had dropped, we saw evidence of him blatantly disregarding the law in the courts. It doesn't make any sense. So at 1 o'clock, there should be these letters submitted by both the prosecution and by Diddy's attorneys stating their sides on him receiving a bond today. The judge is he's young and he's very to the point. The judge says, so wait, Mark Agnifilio, are you saying to me that you want Mr. Combs to be able to walk out of this courthouse right now? And he wasn't even saying that as far as are you crazy because this man gonna do what he want to do. He was saying it can you understand the logistics and the mayhem that will cause? Y'all, yesterday, me and Armand Wiggins, we were out here and we recorded, and I didn't even get a chance to put up my content from yesterday because it was just so much, but I'm going to make sure we run through all the content. Thank you. We were out here recording, and I said yesterday, based on how those the 4 counts and the decision on the 4 counts and the confusion or the split decision on the RICO came down, I was like, it's possible that he'd be able to walk, because if they only get him on the lesser things, it's what are you holding him for? He'll come back for sentencing. Mark Agnifilio made a point that made a lot of sense once all this closed. He said, I have one more thing. You got to think about it like this. This man was about to lose his life, talking about Diddy. Mind y'all, the whole time, when I tell y'all the whole time, Diddy's in there thank you to the judge. He's praying. You see his sons, Christian. I saw Christian kiss his girlfriend. They doing stuff like this. Everybody is feeling man, we'll take, that's all y'all giving us, we'll take it, because it could have been way worse. Mark Agnifilio, Diddy's lead attorney, is he could have lost his life to this court. The jurors gave him another chance at life. He would be a fool. He would be a blatant fool, and he is not that, to disregard that. So he put that on the court record, and now they submit these letters. I think if his team can put a strong enough letter together today, I would not be surprised if he is released. Now, how they're going to figure out logistics, which was a big part of the judge's concern, because as you can imagine, it's going to be mayhem out here. It's going to be crazy if he is released today. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, though. Go down the list. I know the government is man, we wasted our time and our resources. So here's how it went down. So yesterday when we left court, the jurors said, look, we're together. We've decided on 4 counts. There is 1 count that we cannot come together on because we have people strongly on both sides. That was the RICO. When that happened yesterday, right? So in court yesterday, Diddy was when I say he was stuck, he was very emotional yesterday, just stuck. Tini Garagos, who's been one of his lead attorneys as well, she was in court crying today. So he was found not guilty. Let me go